Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, giving videos thumbs ups, leaving me comments, and thank you for all of your support. I really appreciate it. Today's video, it's all about Carnival. The Carnival shares this morning plunged at the opening over 10%. They've announced 5 more ships to be sold or scrapped, coming out now to 18 ships that have to be let go. That's 1/8 of their entire fleet will no longer be part of the company going forward. There are some dramatic changes happening at Carnival Corporation. They released their third quarter financials today, and they talked about the future of what they feel the company will look like, what their plans are, where they're headed, and what they're hoping to accomplish. And I can tell you that this is a reflection of just how bad it is out there for cruise lines. The stock markets lately have been ignoring the plight of the cruise industry, but this morning the market woke up to some bitter reality that the future for cruise lines is grim and is going to be in a sea of red ink for quite some time. First thing I'll mention is some of the third quarter information. They announced that they lost $2.9 billion in the third quarter. Their average burn rate, cash, is $720 million a month. I've been reporting $650 million a month, but I think that's been their game plan and goal for the full year. I hear that in the fourth quarter they think they'll be down to $530 million of a cash burn rate. The shares, looking at the stock here, they hit a high in June of $24.91. Yesterday they were at $17.85. This morning, taking a look at the far right of the chart, they plummeted from that $18 mark right down into the $16 range, down 10% on the opening. We'll see how this works out going forward. They've announced, as part of their way to survive, that even though they have $8 billion in cash, they claim they're going to raise another $1 billion by selling stock in the company. I'm guessing they're going to be lucky to get $15 a share, and that'll raise 60 to 70 million. That'll mean 60 to 70 million shares will have to be issued from the Treasury to bring $1 billion into the bank account. Now, it sounds like a lot of money. It is a lot of money, $1 billion. But the bitter reality of it is this. $1 billion of fresh cash allows Carnival to stay alive for 60 days. That's all it is. 2 months of life by issuing 60 to 70 million additional shares. How much longer can they keep doing it? How long will buyers continue to line up to buy stock? I don't know if the shares are going to stay in this neighborhood much longer, as the prospects are obvious. They cannot raise billions of dollars of fresh cash anymore from issuing bonds and trying to pay interest rates of 5 to 7%. They have likely been told by their Wall Street bankers that if they were to go to the bond market now to raise cash, that they'd have to pay 15 to 20% interest. These images here of cruise ships at the scrapyard, I'm sorry to say we're going to see a lot more of this. There are a number of ships for sale from a number of cruise lines, and as each month goes by, more and more ships will be deemed to be redundant and just will not be economically viable going forward. The CEO of Port Canaveral, the port, has been quoted as saying, in his personal opinion, that he doesn't see cruising starting until into 2021, and when cruising does restart, 50% occupancy levels will be the maximum allowed under perhaps CDC guidelines. This is speculation, this is personal opinion, but it's coming from a source that knows what he's talking about. So pictures like this, beautiful Caribbean ports with the gorgeous water and this gorgeous blue sky, but with 30-year-old cruise ships, it's over. These are pictures from the past, and yet these were photos that were taken probably in the last couple of years, with cruise ships not having balconies like this one here. it's just not feasible. I know Carnival has taken their older class ships and they have literally added decks on top of these ships with balconies to try to keep them going a little longer. But now the game is up, the jig is up. Inside rooms like this for 2 people or 3 people or 4 people, in other words, mom and dad and a couple of kids, it's over. You're not going to be able to, as a cruise line, use these kinds of rooms anymore to bring in income. The ships that had the ocean view rooms also are now in jeopardy because without the ability of fresh outside air to be enjoyed by the passengers, I can't see how health authorities are going to allow these cruise lines to continue operating with a majority of cabins like this. So if you've got a cruise line out there that has a number of cruise ships where they can handle 2,000, 2,200 passengers, but only 300 to 500 of them can be housed in balcony rooms, you can forget about it. This is what's going to happen to them. They can't be sold to anyone else because they can't be used by anyone else for any other purpose. You can't just sell the ship to a cruise line in India and expect that ship to then go to 15 different countries with passengers where most of them are on inside rooms. It's just not going to work. As we already know, Holland America, which is owned by Carnival, have already offloaded 4 of their older ships, and they're expecting a new one in the next year or so. This will be the pattern going forward with the majors. The large cruise lines will offload their older ships a lot quicker than they thought they were going to, and they're going to replace part of the capacity they're losing by bringing in newer ships. That's just the way it's going to be. As I said, with 18 total ships now being scrapped, 12% of the total cruise line capacity, Carnival insists that only 3% of their operating income has been let go. By doing this, they feel that this move is the prudent thing to do. I agree. It's exactly what they have to do. They feel that with their new ships on order over the next 2 to 4 years, that they will replace a vast majority of the capacity that they're letting go now, but the new ships coming in will be much more fuel efficient than the old ones. They'll be much more mechanically reliable. Vast majority of the rooms will be outside balcony rooms. My guess is that new ships under construction and on the drawing board are now being redesigned where there will literally not be inside cabins available. There will be other uses planned by the cruise lines for the interior space. Because keep in mind, folks, with social distancing now becoming a big deal, I can imagine that the size of the specialty restaurants will be doubled across the fleets, and they will steal that space by taking away inside cabin space and putting in specialty restaurants and other facilities instead, so that there is more square footage for the passengers on board the ships. Anyway, there you have it. That's the news today from Carnival. $2.9 billion in losses for the third quarter, $770 million lost per month. Cash burn rate, $530 billion cash burn rate going forward. 5 more ships to be dumped off to make a total of 18, and they want to raise $1 billion in cash by issuing stock from the Treasury. And the market has rendered its verdict first thing this morning with a 10% drop in price for Carnival right at the opening. The Royal Caribbean and Norwegian are following suit. We'll stay on top of this story. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.